Hi guys and welcome. This is Candace Marie coming to you guys live today on July the 13th to give you some information about what's going on with the transits. I am here with Mystic Illuminations. Happy to be back. I see that there are already some people waiting in the chat. Welcome guys. Thank you for waiting. I really appreciate everybody showing up and being here and giving me some space to talk, because let me tell you something. Okay, so usually I have the air conditioner on in this room, and when it's not on, it's very warm. So I have to say it's very appropriate for a lot of what's going on with all of these transits that are going to be working their way pretty soon into Leo. And as I was starting to look at the transits, I got very excited because I can tell that this is it, guys. Like, this is it. We're getting down to the final couple weeks in this build up to this massive month of eclipses, and a lot of very interesting things are happening. Hello, everybody. Hi, guys. Everybody's saying hello. But the heat is very appropriate because we are coming in to some real serious fire trines. And when I see these fire trines, I get very excited. It is the return of some of this energy. The last time we saw it was mid-May. And this is a little bit of a check-in, I think, that's happening just prior to next month. And so I'm going to be talking to you guys and giving you the transits, really working our way up to this new moon. I was going to do a couple of days, but I was like, I'm just going to go all the way with it because there's so much information that is tied together and it's very similar. And we're seeing kind of repetitive patterns of some of these transits. So very excited to get a chance to talk to you. Happy to see that everybody has survived the full moon in Capricorn. That was quite a doozy. It was very, 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 very intense. And what was interesting about it is everything that was going on was really starting as of, July the 1st, in my opinion. So that build up moving into the full moon was it was preparing us, it was getting us ready. And so yeah, I'm seeing what a lot of people were saying. A lot of people were really experiencing those power plays, and I have to say, once I've gotten to the other side of transits like this, I'm always very appreciative of what happens, because I don't know about you guys, but it was like this massive release. I know that it was one of the first full moons in several years that was that close also to transiting Pluto in Capricorn. So it was really packing a punch and really kind of like getting us in check just prior to, getting prepared for Saturn entering into Capricorn, and Saturn going retrograde currently is still very much helping us apply these lessons and everything with the information that's been coming in recently, and really helping us kind of understand better, and I think come from a different perspective and from a different place, and certainly be a little bit more humbled by what happened. So glad to see that you guys are alive and well. Let's kick things off with talking about what's kind of going on currently. Basically, as of July the 4th, we saw that Venus entered into Gemini, and Venus in Gemini is an interesting time. There's certainly a lot of information that's coming in. There's certainly a lot of talking about relationships, a lot of relationship reevaluation. So I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but those of us who have not been happy, those of us who have not been speaking out, suddenly Venus in Gemini is connecting all of the pathways to our head and our heart, and really giving us the opportunity to start talking about relationships and partnerships. And I feel like that was such a huge point, I think, of the Capricorn full moon, was the relationships that we were having with other people, how it was affecting us, and how we can be balancing things out a little bit. Hi, everybody. So Venus is not always happy in Gemini. That's the fortunate and unfortunate part. We get a lot of information. We are analyzing this information. But one of the main themes, and it was kind of like me going to the end before filling you guys in, is I'm building up to I'm building up to a Saturn-Venus opposition, which will be happening around the new moon in Leo. So just so you guys know, it's really building to this point with that Sun-Saturn opposition. So stay with me until I get there. But Basically, Venus and Gemini talking about relationships, communicating our feelings, exploring our feelings, having emotional downloads. This is a lot of information that's coming in. Also, it's very nice to see that Mercury has made its way now into Leo, speaking to what the heart wants and needs, what our truest desires are. And so when we see these two come together in this really beautiful, harmonious aspect, we can receive all of the information that we need from relationships and our insight that we're getting, and be able to really be speaking from the heart. Because the truth is, you know, we're done with the full moon in Capricorn, but the best is yet to come, guys. I'm very, very, very excited. I really have been waiting for this month, because this is when we start integrating the work. We're going to be seeing that on July the 15th. This is the beginning of this new swell of energy that is building to the new moon in Leo. July 15th, the moon in Aries squares Pluto in Capricorn and Jupiter in Libra, creating what we call a T-square. Basically, we're going to see a little bit of a skirt, and situations are going to come up that are bringing back up that cardinal cross that we saw sometime around the full moon. So it's reminding you with this T-square, there are still nitty-gritty bits and pieces and loose ends that may need to be tied up and need to be handled, and it can remind you a lot of what was going on during the full moon in Capricorn. Somebody is asking, why don't I ever feel the energy of the transits? I'm so confused. More specifically, guys, I'm speaking to people who have cardinal planets, and so this would be the Capricorn, Cancers, Aries, and the Libras, especially if you have anything around those degrees. When we're looking at the degrees of Pluto, somewhere between 16 and about 20 degrees. Same thing with Jupiter, somewhere between 12 and about 16, 17 degrees. And so as we see the moon get into that space, it will square these two planets. So take a look. Also, there's going to be a lot going on for those of you guys who are also in fixed signs once we start to see planets make their way into Leo. So it'll be really expanding and affecting the cardinals as well as the fixed signs. So do take a look at your personal planets and your personal charts. So after we have that nasty little T-square that really kind of emotionally reminds you if there are any pieces that you left, that's when it's going to come to the surface, and we're going to be like, okay, there's more going on here than I thought, and there's some other things that I need to be wrapping up. Then from the 17th of July all the way through July the 21st, you can expect some intense transits. Now, once again, triggering squares between Uranus as we go from the time of Cancer into the time of Leo. So definitely mark those calendars. The 17th through the 21st can be a little bit rocky, because we're going to be seeing those squares. Now, when it involves Uranus, it's very quick moving energy. As of July the 17th, we see that Mars in Cancer will be squaring Uranus in Aries. We see this play out on a personal level as us being a little bit more daring or taking more risks than usual, unexpected developments happening in our lives, and us having to think quickly on our feet. Remember that everything that's going on with Uranus is being supported by Saturn this year. So do pay attention, especially because we can find new ways, Uranus, of setting the ground rules and providing stability, Saturn. So this square is just showing you where sometimes we can be acting erratically, we can be acting out, and we can be reactionary. And so when that happens, you have the opportunity to learn lessons or build stability. I'm encouraging you guys to find physical activities and ways to get this out of your system that are safe. On a more kind of worldly level, potentially we will see more dangerous and aggressive situations playing out. We will be potentially seeing world events that would involve leaders or hostile situations in between countries. And that's unfortunately what the energy presents, but it doesn't always have to go that way. Look out for big egos and people who are being overly dramatic and reactionary at this time. Remember that because we are making our way to the Saturn-Venus opposition, it keeps reminding us we have to wait. We have to wait. Saturn's not just going to give us what we want immediately. So even if some very unexpected stuff comes up at this time, even if people are acting out and making threats or suggesting that there is going to be some major events or hostile situations happening, be patient. Once again, don't feed into it. Find productive ways to be creative, to go and do, daring, exciting opportunities and things during this day or this kind of 24, 48-hour period to balance that energy out. But do be careful. Then on July the 19th, we see Mercury will conjunct with the North Node, and it will be trining Saturn. Let's talk about this for a second, because this is going to be a moment where we see the universe intervene and deliver all of us a very divine message. I want to take a second to just let everybody know now. From here forward, with my lecture, I really want you to pay attention and take a look at your personal chart with where Leo is in your chart. Pay attention. Here's why. Mercury conjunct the North Node, trining Saturn. This is the planet of communication and understanding, the messenger working positively and in a very divine way with fate in the North Node, and also delivering us these messages about our future endeavors. During this day, it's very possible that there can be emotional lessons, but they are beneficial. It's about moving forward. Saturn will provide us with the truth, and it will provide you with some insight as to what direction you're going in and really helping you achieve the position of the North Node. So pay attention to what the heart, needs, what the heart wants, what's going on with you emotionally, creatively, and in terms of your relationships, and really pay attention to where we're going to be seeing this trine in Leo, as well as the North Node in Leo, and where Mercury is going to be making this conjunction. So look at it and see what's happening here. Okay, so what else is going on? Taking a look at my notes. Then on July the 19th, we're going to see Mars and the Sun conjunct and trine Chiron in Pisces. So we're going to see the Sun and Mars in Cancer get to those later degrees, those critical points. We've talked about that in previous videos when we see that 28, 29 degrees. Now, currently, retrograde is on top of Chiron. We're not seeing Chiron moving forward. We're kind of in a position of looking inward and seeing where we need to be healing ourselves and working on ourselves and not projecting and not playing the victim. You see an amazing opportunity for some healing as a result of this particular transit. So active work to heal wounds from the past on a spiritual and emotional level. Then we have Sun in Cancer square Uranus in Aries on July the 20th. Basically, this is faintly familiar to what happened during the Capricorn full moon, creating tense situations to where we're having to think on our feet and come up with new innovative ways to live our lives. And so maybe it sounds like I'm just talking at you. I don't want to be talking at you guys, but let me kind of break this down. I went through all of the dates. Right now, if I interpret the energy of the planets and not just the super nerdy astro notes, we all have an opportunity to work with Venus and Gemini and receive the information that we need before making a decision. You see, Mercury in Leo is also working well with Venus, and in a way, it's almost in a sextile, delivering us this information and connecting our higher self with our hearts. Most of this information we're still keeping to ourselves right now, and that's okay. We have to get through the 5th and sometimes even up until the 17th for us to really get prepared for some of these transits that are giving us the opportunities to be reactionary, but we don't need to be. I almost look at this as if like Uranus and Saturn is testing us and saying, are you going to go about your old patterns, or are you going to go about creative new ways of communicating, of speaking from your heart, of not having to be heavy-handed about love, but in a way being like we can love everyone, we can be open to new experiences, we can be open to new opportunities, even if that means the relationships that we're in may or may not be working. And so I guess there's a better way to phrase that. You will be more open to making changes in relationships with people, personal relationships, and financially at this time because of the information you receive. So this is all building up to many, many people who are really stepping into their own personal power. We've said it before. We're going to keep saying it, but this is the month where I feel like it's really going to happen. And people are waking up and they're going, can't be in this relationship anymore. It's not speaking to me. Can't be working this job anymore. It's not my true heart's desire. And so we can't be reactionary yet. We're going to see that, yes, major changes can happen. We're already in eclipse energy. We're a few weeks out. And so it is not abnormal to be feeling the changes happening now. Many of us will be experiencing them more so next month or in September going into October. But if you are already experiencing some of these shifts now, especially those of you who have later degrees of Aries, of Sagittarius, or of Leo, you may be experiencing these changes much more quickly because the trines are giving you a head start, so to say, and really kind of putting a fire underneath you. These fire trines will be returning, and we're going to see a little bit of it now, but we're really going to see it return in mid-November. And so when we have these trines happen, remember, fire is very quick, it's fast, it's creative, it's passionate. And so I want you guys to really pay attention to this. I'm trying to go back and forth. I'm seeing what you guys are saying. Somebody's asking questions about finding your soul tribe and relating to this topic. Yes, very much so, because we see that there's so much support from Saturn right now, guys. I mean, Saturn is going retrograde and it's in Sagittarius. And right now it's on or around, I believe, let me take a look. I want to say it's currently, let's see, Saturn's actually sitting at 22 degrees. It's going to go retrograde here soon in a little bit. I'm sorry, it'll go station direct in a little bit. It will no longer be going retrograde. It'll be stationed at 21 degrees for about 2 months. And then Saturn will start working its way back into the later degrees of Sagittarius. Now, what's interesting is then Saturn will hit that 26 degrees and that center point that everybody's always talking about, that center of the universe point. I'm a little bit at a loss for words. I'm sorry, guys, but the galactic center point. And that's a very interesting degree when all of a sudden things trigger and we open up and connect to these soul paths, these soul tribes, our divine partners, our master teachers, really stepping into our path. And so I guess what I'm really looking at here is the decisions that you guys make the next couple of weeks are very significant. The choices that you make are very significant. It is leading up to this point of Saturn returning to this 26 degrees. It's leading back to when we will see in November later this year, the North Node will trine Uranus and Saturn one more time. And so the question is, what is it that you want? Where are you going? What is it that you need? What is your heart telling you? Having the North Node in Leo is amazing. It's giving us the opportunity to really lead with our hearts. All right, so we worked our way through the Sun in Cancer, squaring Uranus in Aries, and now this is what I want to really get to, and this is why I was telling everybody, please pay attention to where Leo is in your chart, because I couldn't help myself. I guess I could have waited, but I really wanted to wait for this. The new moon that's coming on July the 23rd, 2017, it'll be at 2:46 a.m. Pacific time. This new moon is at 0 degrees. Has anybody really taken a look at this yet? I think it's pretty interesting that this new moon is at 0 degrees of Leo, and the next new moon that we're going to be having, August 21st, 2017, it's also going to be in Leo at 29 degrees. So this is kind of the basis of what I really wanted to talk about, is how are we seeing the Sun, Mercury, all of these planets. Venus will be there soon. They're all meeting up with the North Node. And so as these planets begin to cross that 0 degree of Leo, it is triggering everything that we need to know, because we are gifted with 2 new moons in Leo, 2 opportunities, the beginning point, the end point, the eclipse that comes next month. I'm hoping everybody takes a look at their chart and sees what's going on, because this is very significant to have the beginning and the end. so much karmic information will be processed and downloaded. So many people will be receiving direct guidance between, you know, the 23rd of this month and the 21st of next month. This is crazy. Those of you guys who have a 0 degree or a 29 degree, I'm talking to you, even if it's not in Leo. Remember, guys, we want to take a look at what is going on specifically in that particular area. So this is what I have got worked out for you guys, and this is something else I wanted to note. So the Venus-Saturn opposition is a major point that I'm seeing in this new moon, and I'm going to skim over it a little bit because I'm going to be doing another video on this in particular. But looking at this and seeing with the Sun-Saturn opposition, I see Saturn creating delays for Venus, and Venus not being entirely too thrilled about that in Gemini. I see that whatever it is that you want or you think you want on the 23rd, I ask all of you guys, man, you better really think about it. Okay, because for that to be happening on the 0 degree new moon, it's going to be completely different on the 29 degree new moon in August. So if you have to wait out a financial situation, if you have to wait out a romantic situation, if you have to wait and see how someone feels, if you have to wait for a response, if you're waiting to link up with someone, whatever it is, trust me on this. The key is patience. Whatever you're shown in this next month after this new moon will be so enlightening. It will close a karmic chapter. It's amazing. I'm very excited. And the key here is that we're not going to just get to take the easy way out, guys. You know, Venus opposed Saturn is going to make you work through what issues are there. We can't just, you know, take the easy way, take the easy road. Some of us are going to want to do that. Some of us are going to want to tap out. I encourage you guys, don't take the easy way. This is not going to give you the lesson. It's going to create more garbage and more baggage and more stuff to drag around. And guess what? We don't need that because the energy is shifting. We are working into new dimensions. We are working into a new space and a new point in time where we don't have to drag things along and be at that 0 point and go, I'm just starting to consider my heart's desire. By August 21st, 2017, you're going to find out and you're going to know and you're going to be walking in it. The eclipse is going to support it. So what you think you know, what you think you feel, I ask you guys, please be patient. Please be patient because many things will change. I'm seeing this playing out in certain areas of my life. My natal south node is in Leo, and certain things that I saw and knew to be true, I'm realizing it's not what I thought it was, and it's subject to change. Certain karmic contracts, those of you guys who have a south node in Leo, oh my gosh, pay attention because the people coming in and the people going out right now, these are your teachers. Whether it seems like it or not, they are actually teaching you everything you need to know and providing you with the experiences to have a better connection with your heart and go, is this what I want? Is this really it? You know, and living and being in your truth and being able to be connected to your inner child. It's amazing. It's going to be really, really fun to see. That's for sure. So let's take a look. What else did I put here? So during this new moon also, we're going to see that Mercury is still conjunct the north node, and it's really speaking to what direction your heart is going in. The sun and moon are also conjunct Mars. And so sun, moon, Mars, all in Leo, you know, we've had it in Cancer, and it's been kind of like, okay, like I'll tell you when enough is enough, and I'm not gonna get too vocal about things until you totally push the bear. But once we get the sun coupled up with Mars, and the sun and Mars are fueling each other, and they're in Leo, you're not going to be able to hold back. You're not going to be able to hide from what you want. Remember, Leo is dramatic. Leo is theatrical. It's giving us the opportunity to pop off, and we can't contain things. So all of the information you're getting now is so we don't pop off. It's so we know everything up front. will go through the transits through the next week until it makes its way to this new moon. And you're given so many opportunities and so many outs to learn how to communicate effectively. And trust me, if you're hiding and you're not wanting to acknowledge it, or if you're not wanting to deal with things, the squares, they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna make it come up. They're gonna make it come out. So this new moon gives vitality and energy as well to accomplish what is needed to achieve the North Node in Leo. Hotheads, reactiveness, and passion, this is all going to show up. And I love it. You know, I can't help it. I'm bougie as hell with my South Node in Leo, and I think that I really appreciate it, but I also realize that there is a time and a place for it. And it's not always going to be something that is appropriate. And so if you start to kind of feel yourself really expanding and really being reactionary, take a little bit of a step back and really try to process things before you go popping off at people. Same thing goes for people who are being reactionary towards you guys in situations around the new moon. Remember that 0 degrees is a new beginning. So maybe you're somebody who's a little bit more, you know, introverted. Maybe you're somebody who is not as vocal. This is giving you the opportunity to speak out. And for those of us who have no problem in that arena, it's important for us to kind of keep ourselves in check. All right. So I also wanted to note for you guys, like I said before, things can get dramatic, but things can also happen very quickly. Leading up to next month, we have, like I said, that solar eclipse, new moon at 28 and change. Really, it's 29 degrees. There's been a lot of talk about it. It's going to be just around the star of Regulus, and there's going to be a lot going on. And so I look forward to being able to do that video for you guys soon. I'm really looking forward to putting that together and giving you guys something extra special for not only the eclipses, but some prediction videos also about maybe the United States and the fate of our country, along with our pal Trump. I hope, as always, that this was helpful for you guys. I am very excited to see how the energy plays out between now and the new moon. And like I said, I will be back, and I really want to study and go through for each and every one of the individual signs and really be able to talk to you guys about what's happening, because I will be mentioning and going back to that 29 degrees Leo when the North Node showed up, and working our way all the way through these other planets that are currently going through Leo. So I spoke a little bit more quickly today. Those of you guys who really want to get these particular transits and these dates, I recommend go back, write them down, have them around, so as things start showing up, you're paying attention and seeing what's happening, because this month things move quickly. This month we have divine intervention. This month you're given the keys to the castle, and you're given all of the answers about what will be changing next month. As always, thank you guys. I appreciate having the time and space to speak with you, and I appreciate your likes and your comments and your shares. If you have an interest in booking a personal reading with me, you may do so by taking a look at the link below, and you can see my list of services and have a chat with me. My services range from Western astrology, synastry charts, progress charts, and all sorts of other things with my intuitive abilities and my tarot. So thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing all of you soon. And until next time, be well.